Hello and welcome to On the Other Hoof. Oh, most of the festivals this year are out the way, but Glorious Goodwood starts tomorrow. Well, the Galway Festival's on right now, but Glorious Goodwood Day 1 is ahead of us, and I am joined by Michael Andrews next to me, who isn't as annoying as Adam Webb when he comes down and visits, but we have also got Adam Webb here as well. Hi Adam.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
No worries.
Do what?
No worries.
No worries. Yeah, it's a worry for us, but. Apologies for darkness tonight in our room. We've tried every bit of electricity we can, but it will not work. But hopefully we find a few winners.
Yeah.
You're off there tomorrow, aren't you?
I am.
I may be there tomorrow. I'm not sure, but
It'll be a good day. It'll be a good day until it rains.
until it rains, you get soaked.
Yeah, and you can't see anything.
Yeah.
That'll be the problem. But yeah, it should be pretty decent. And obviously we've got the German interest and Tormore dropping down in trip and in grade.
Class, yeah.
So yeah, it should be an interesting race. It's not the greatest day of racing, I don't think. It's a bit like the first day. I'd say it's better than the first day of the St. Ledger meeting. That's a bit of. There's not much that goes on at St. Ledger meeting, but I think this kind of we reach its peak towards the end of the week.
Anything you're looking forward to in particular this week? You can't say Kingman and Toronado.
I'm not looking forward to Toronado, just Kingsman. And I honestly, I think the Stewards Cup is just something I wanted to see for ages because it's
Red Cup.
I'm going to call it the Stewards Cup from now on, just because it's just like an absolute charge, and I just think coming down that hill could be something definitely to watch.
Yeah.
I think those two would be the two races I'm looking forward to the most.
Yeah, Adam, your thing that you're looking forward to most this week?
I wanted to say Kingman Tornado, but I'm actually quite disappointed about the turnout of the race, actually. There's only 5 runners, and...
Well,
yeah,
the reason you're disappointed with that is because you really wanted to back outstrip each way, and you can't do that anymore.
With 3 places, yeah, that's the main reason. But yeah, at least there's some rain about, because there were doubts whether Kingman would take his chance on quicker ground, so it's good that hopefully it's going to rain a tiny bit, and then we can see him. The thing I'm most looking forward to this week, probably the Stewards Cup as well, actually, because it's one of my favourite races of the year. So yeah.
Yeah, he's just copying me.
I'm not copying you. Actually, I always enjoyed the...
I think it'll be interesting to see what the press do about Estimate in the Goodwood Cup later on in the week.
Yeah, I was just about to mention the Goodwood Cup as well. I'm looking forward to that as a race, but the field, it's not as good as the Ascot Gold Cup. The field for me, I'm surprised that Leading Light wasn't entered. So.
It's never been as good as the Ascot Gold Cup, though, has it?
We've had some cracking finishes in this race. Remember Persian Punch?
I think I backed No Heritage. Yeah, that tells you as much as you want to know. But we get started tomorrow with the handicap. The 155 Viewpoint won this last year. He's back this year with Cam Hardy claiming 5. Adam, has Viewpoint just been laid out for this race, and would you give him much of a chance?
He could be potential. I think he's quite a big price considering he won it a year ago. But I am siding with the other Hannon horse, Sea Shanty, who won at Sandown 2 starts ago, and then got a penalty which got him into the Royal Hunt Cup. And I thought he ran really well that day. And I think the step up in trip won't be an issue. And I think Hannon and Hughes can start Glorious Goodwood with a winner. Obviously, I think the main threat comes from Stomachin, who was second at Epsom last time out. And you can't discount Mark Johnson, a salutation there, who's price-wise, by the way, with Azonga with Thayer as well. Them two are price-wise in this race.
I understand Thayer, in fairness. He ran really well behind Windhoek last time out, and it's promising.
Also, just because Callum can't be here, I'm from Gowan, who's one of his handicappers to follow, and I think he was pleased to see that he'd got an entry, and at least he's still alive, so...
Do you want a love heart?
Yeah, thanks. I love a love heart. Thank you very much.
What does it say?
It says, "True lips."
What?
I've got good lips. Thank you.
That's a bit raunchy. It's not even past 9 o'clock yet.
Yeah.
I've got makeup, so it's implying I'm very ugly.
Yeah, you need it.
Yeah, you're fancy for this one.
I think it's a really good race. Actually, I think it's a probably better renal than it was last year. Actually.
We don't know about that.
Yeah, I think so. I think Sanokian Star brings a really solid form angle to it. If he's at his best, he was such a consistent horse last year.
Last season we had the likes of Nabucco in here. Nabucco has obviously gone on
Nabucco.
Group races.
Anything else?
Lavarinto, who promised so much, but injuries completely plagued him. Struggling to remember anything else.
Yeah, okay, so I think I win. I think Sea Shanty is a very solid horse, and I can completely understand with Adam's angle on that. And in fairness, Richard Hughes did ride Viewpoint last year in this race. No one could believe that he went off 16-1, and he's about the same price again this year. And I think Viewpoint's got a really decent chance. Cam Hardy's a very capable claimer. He claims 5 off here, and Viewpoint is off a very similar mark, just a bit above. But with the claim, I'd say he's about off the same level, really. So I think Viewpoint's got a really good chance. Obviously won on All-Weather Championship Day. I think he won the first race that day as well.
Under Cam Hardy.
Yeah, so I think that's a really solid bet, especially at 20-1. He's quite a big price, I think, there. The 2 big dangers for me, I really like Nice of You to Tell Me, but I don't want any more rain. He needs it rattling soft. He won at Newmarket on his return to action this year, and then he was 9th behind Field of Dream in the Royal Hunt Cup. So I really like Nice of You to Tell Me, but I'm just worried that it's going to be a bit too soft for him. He needs it really rattling fast.
It's not going to be soft tomorrow.
Yeah, just in case but if it doesn't dry out quick enough.
Goodwood's probably the driest fasting, the fastest drying.
We'll see when we get there. If it's firm, I'll be happy to.
Yeah, I think it'll be much on the fast side. At the moment, it's a good firm place on the ramp. Also.
Yeah, so I think Nice of You to Tell Me. I think is a very solid selection again. So those would be my 2.
Yeah, I'm really worried that I agree with Adam on this sea shanty. Although I did start following sea shanty before Adam did.
Yeah, you did. I give you that.
And I do think the sea shanty has needed further than the mile that he's been running over previously. I couldn't have had him at all in the Hunt Cup, and he ran a huge race to come fourth. I was absolutely shocked that he managed to achieve that placing. But I think over a mile 2 or extended mile 2, okay, it's effectively a mile 2 tomorrow. But I think that trip is going to suit him much more. And he just looks a fairly solid horse. He's been screaming out for this kind of trip as well. Winning at Sandown, I think, had a bit more to give. It was a stronger race, a strong race that day. As for others, Sanoki and Star's got to be taken into account. He's been in decent form in the early part of the year. That's kind of tailed off a little bit. Ran okay last time, but it's more taken. Johnston and Joe Fanning team are very, very much informed lately. I think if he gets a soft time on the front end, Sanoki and Star could go a bit close. And I'd love to see Wigmore Hall return to a bit of form as well. He's lost his way a bit and probably the same horse that he used to be, but if he could refine any form, then that would be one of the results of the week for myself. Other than that, high there maybe, but no, I'm quite sweet on Sea Shanty actually. And that is the selection for the first. The 2:30 is coming up next, and I'm going to predict the future here.
I think you already know the answer.
Adam is going to tip up Beacon.
Well, I was very taken with him at 3 starts ago actually at Salisbury when he won his first maiden, and although as we were discussing beforehand, Michael was like good to soft, but I thought he won that day with a ton in hand, and has since gone on. I mean, last time out at Sandown, he was a hands and heels job effectively for Richard Hughes, and he's meeting some of the same opponents again, and I think he's definitely on the improve, and I think he is the one to beat here. I know it's a short price, but I really like this horse a lot, and I think he is the one to beat here.
Do you remember when we were there at Sandown with Beacon?
Yes, I do, and what I said, and yeah, I do.
No, not that getting saddled up.
Oh yeah, that was a bit strange in the pre-parade.
He's a very classy horse. You can't deny that, but
he's got his quirks. Definitely has his quirks pre-parade. Yeah.
Well, Richard Hughes wanted permission to get the leg up in the saddling box.
And they said no. And then
said, that's ridiculous, dangerous. What a stupid idea.
Yeah.
So he got the leg up in the pre-parade ring and went straight down to post. So it looks like he's a very quirky individual, but not one that's short on ability, of course. But a big race day, that if it sort of gets to him a little bit, he could be a buzzy kind. That could put paid his chances. One that I actually really have a soft spot for is Dougal, who last time out would have hated the ground. It was fairly soft behind Ivorwood, and it never really got going. The faster ground and appreciate tomorrow gets the assistance from Ryan Moore in the saddle. I think 12-1 is a massive each way price. As for the rest, Mukkaman as a horse, again, I really like, but was firmly put in his place last time by Beacon, who won really nicely at Sandown. And it could just be Beacon's going to be far too good for these, but I wouldn't put you off having an each way saver on Dougal with 8 horses in the race. Mikey.
I think Beacon at that price is I just don't want to touch it whatsoever.
No.
And I think there's definitely value in some of the bigger price horses, especially considering if you take out Kotai Glory.
Kotai Glory.
And Mukmal, you've got a double figure price with Dougal 14s around about that price.
Yeah.
And obviously, I think Fast Act as well would be my each way selection at about 16-1 at the moment. Was beaten a decent amount by Tiggy Wiggy last time, but was third in what I consider a very competitive race behind her. Behind it was busy. Everything, they were all finishing in a bunch. And I think there'll be plenty of winners that come out of that. And Fast Act finished third that day for Jamie Spencer and Kevin Ryan. And I think Fast Act is a bit overpriced at 16-1. I can see one of either Dougal or Fast Act at big odds getting second or third. I think that's very much up for grabs. I think Kotai Glory is a bit too short for me. But I think Beacon's the one everyone's got to beat. But I wouldn't be surprised. That's all I can say. I think Spirit of Shan.
Spirit of Xian.
Yan, I was right.
Xian.
Xian.
Yeah.
There we go. It's not French, so I can't pronounce it. Is actually quite overpriced as well at 25-1. Been set some tough tasks, and I do think this taking out Beacon is actually an easier race. So I do think the places are very much up for grabs. So if you're not a short-priced favourite backer, I think you can back quite a few of these outsiders and expect to get some kind of return.
Yeah. Moving on to the next race, which is the Lennox. It's also the first group race that we're going to be covering. What's the last one? The group.
Yeah.
I knew it as soon as I said it. I knew it as soon as I said it. The Lennox Stakes at Group 2. Was it Garswood won this last year?
Yeah.
Oh, don't. You are so evil.
Michael backed Kaspernecher, who was beaten just that far.
Like 12, 14-1, something like that. Big odds.
Not like you to back horses to come second. Tormore is favourite for the this year's renewal, and Richard Hughes will persuade a few people by saying in his Racing Post column that Tormore was the best chance that he's got all week. Now, obviously, Tormore came into this season with really high credentials, was champion 2-year-old, came into the Guineas about 8-1. I think I backed him. I was sold completely and didn't really run his race. He won the Craven. At Ascot, things didn't go his way. He never looked likely to be even in the frame, let alone winning. But takes a significant step down in class and a furlong shorter today, which could be in his favour. Adam, are you sweet on Tormore?
I think this is the first time I've ever been sweet on Tormore. It's just not a horse I've ever been sold by, and it's not me being rude, it's just I've never been sold by him. But I just think with the conditions of this race and the reports that are coming out of the Hannon Yard that he's really well at the minute and he's coming to his coat, I think he is the one to beat here, getting the weight. But I think, obviously, me and Luke both agree, I think Gregorian is his main danger. That July Cup run for me was, I couldn't believe it. He was a fast finishing third over 6 furlongs. And potentially he could even, on softer ground, win a 6 furlong race. Obviously, they want a bigger price that me and Michael both like. SK Love is it again, and it's good to see him back at 7 furlongs.
I literally just circled SK Love's thing and said, Adam will mention that horse next.
You mentioned within the 2 seconds.
Well, I've always mentioned SK Love, apart from last time, I don't think. But
just mention it.
It's a horse that I've always followed, and it's been good to see him campaigned a bit more. I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. Yeah, I'll go with that. Reserved. Another one, Garswood, I just can't have anymore. He's just. And the first time visor is interesting, but I couldn't have him in this. Yeah, but I actually think Tormore will win tomorrow, and I think that's the first time I've ever said that. So.
No, I've been pulling my hair out about this race completely because I love Tormore, but I love Gregorian even more. I think 7 furlongs is probably going to be Gregorian's best trip. You remember he came into Queen Anne travelling so well, the one that Declaration of War won, and I think it's harsh to say didn't really get home, but probably lacked the class in a Group 1 to see out a mile fully, especially against horses like Declaration of War, who turned out to be an absolute superstar. But 7 furlongs, I think, will be absolutely perfect. A bit of rain won't be the worst thing in the world for him. Tormore, I'm not sure. Boom and Bust, you'd imagine, would lead, wouldn't you? So
Boom and Bust will lead. Amarillo want to be up there. SK Love. There's quite a bit of pace.
There's plenty of pace on, so Tormore won't have to cut out the running. I don't think he can lead, but I don't think he really wants to. I think he's more just as effective from coming from the back than he is from coming from the front. He is just highly adaptable. But there's just a little niggling doubt in my mind that Gregorian, at this stage, could be a better horse. I think
that run behind Slade Power is...
Exactly, yeah. It's just he was staying on so effectively towards the end in the July Cup, and I can't split them two. I can't really have anything else in the race, so it could be one of the rare occasions where I have a reverse forecast, a decent bet on that, and maybe my nab today. God.
Ooh.
But yeah, them two I cannot split at all. A slight preference, I'd rather get shot in the face. My God, I can't pick between them.
That can be a race.
It's like asking between your children that I don't have.
And your dog.
That he doesn't have.
Adam.
It's not very fair on my dog, actually.
Right. This has gone way off then. Yeah, your selection for the race.
Yeah, I must admit, I do have the feeling that either Gregorian with that Slade Power form, or Tormore with the form that he showed as a 2-year-old and in the Craven, could just run away with this, really. One of them, or both of them, in fact, possibility. Other ones, they are becoming a bit more exposed, but I don't know, you know what I'm like, I love exposed horses. We'll start from the top with Amarillo, obviously with the German connection. Well, more than a German connection, he is German.
He's Irish.
He's Irish, but he's trained and ridden by the Germans. I'm really happy, and I think most of Germany is happy that Adrie de Vries has come over to ride, because Richard Hughes gave him an absolute stinker at Haydock. Amarillo just told everybody that he's a lot better than that when he won a Group 3 last time. He was a class above the horses that he beat, including one of the best named horses, Donna Schlag. Boom and Bust is another horse that I really like. I backed him in the Cambridge show a couple of years back when I was there. SK Love is another old favourite, and I think 7 furlongs is about the right trip now. Between 6 and 7, I think is right for him, but I don't know if he's not as classy, and he was beaten last time out by Music Master, and I think that Gregorian and Tormore could be better than that. Yeah. Gloria Waits I can't have. Garswood's been very frustrating, but I wouldn't say his run last time out was really bad. I know everyone's been writing off, but I don't think he ran awfully there. I just don't think he's run well enough to suggest that he's going to win tomorrow. Angel and Professor I can't have, neither can I have Here Comes When. So yeah, it's very sentimental. If you want to read anything about Amarillo, you can do. There'll be stuff up on GermanRacingReview.com. There'll be a fact file and stuff written by German Racing Review. But yeah, I have a feeling that I've been talked into it, that Gregorian and Tormore could just be a class above some of these, really. Most of these, in fact, all of these. Because Amarillo I want to tip the German horse, but I honestly just don't think he's good enough. I don't think he's up to that class, because he's more exposed than others now.
It's just a horrible race for me. It's two of my favourite horses in recent times taking each other on, but this race has actually sparked a debate on Twitter from us. We've got Sean, Private Sean, sorry. Private Sean has come in and said, Amarillo, you moron.
Is this the way?
Sean trying to show people the way there. But as Michael said, just Gregorian and Tormore could be a bit better than Amarillo. Amarillo maybe for each way purposes, yeah.
Well, Amarillo won a Group 3 last year at Haydock. I think it was at Haydock. Yeah. Which is a really good run, but he beat horses like Pastoral Player, which is an ongoing joke, and he only beat them a short ahead there. So
Pastoral Player should have won that as well.
Yeah, you're right. It was very close. I remember that going to quite a tough call. I thought they were closer than that. I would completely discount his last run behind Penitent, because he was just ridden completely wrong, and everyone that was watching him just thought, "What the hell are you doing?" Because he likes to be front running, or at least in the top 3. So he's completely wrong there. So you can cross that off, and he's won since, even if at the races tells me that he hasn't won. He has ran in and won a Group 3 in Germany since. So I can have that, but I just think that Tormore and Gregorian are perhaps better, and I think it would be, if one of those two don't win, you'd be disappointed.
Yeah, you'd be questioning the form.
You'd be saying, is this really a Group 2?
Is this real life, or is this reality?
Yeah, because Amarillo's only ever won a Group 3.
Yeah. Adam didn't get the Queen.
No, he didn't. Even though he was wearing a shirt with Queen on it yesterday.
I'm not.
Today, he said.
Oh, yesterday. Yeah.
We've been compared to Coronation Street.
Oh, right.
Stuart Mingay.
Addictive.
Yeah, sure. Why
People died? Not yet.
We'll kill Adam off later. It's fine. Stuart Mingay, thank you for getting in touch. So good stuff again. Better than Coronation Street. You don't see them on Channel 4 sharing out love heart sweets. That you don't.
No,
That you do
point.
not. You do not get that on
There
Channel
should be
4.
a new section.
Exactly.
I'll go
Exactly.
and tell Graham Cunningham tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll tweet. You guys need to get some love heart sweets on your show. It's probably more interesting than what we're talking about, actually, sharing love heart sweets. But moving on to the 340 and the last race that we're going to cover really in depth for tomorrow or today, whenever you're watching this. I always make that cock up. Havana Cooler. I think we were all a bit disappointed by his run last time. He promised so much behind Arab Spring.
I wasn't like that.
I was disappointed with this run behind Havana Cooler. Derriger. After he ran really well against Arab Spring, but he just looks really one pace. This is 2 furlongs further, probably a weaker race as well. But Callum has messaged us before we came on air saying, before any one of you lot, or in fact anyone watching picks Havana Cooler, make sure they watch the race he ran at Goodwood last year first. Now, I do agree with what Callum's saying there, because Havana Cooler was a very wayward horse then. He didn't I don't know whether he didn't handle the course. He probably didn't on the day, no, but he just seemed the horse that needed a year, maybe even another, to sort of get to grips with himself. He's just grown up a hell of a lot in the last season. I'd be willing to give him one more chance at Goodwood to see if he does actually handle it. I wouldn't be getting involved too heavily whatsoever. It's not the kind of race that I would be having a good bet on, but I'm looking at the others and I just can't really see one that's going to really serve it up to him. Van Persie, as I'm sure you know by now, I'm not the biggest fan of. He's just a bit quirky. He keeps a bit back from himself in my mind anyway. As for the rest, I don't think any of them have the scope of Havana Cooler. Schweiman's had a bit of a tough time recently as regards to racing and not really having huge breaks between him. Repeater, if he does what he did last time out, then forget about it. He stood in the stalls for seconds. But he doesn't look the most straightforward type. So it could just fall down to Havana Cooler being the best horse in the race. I think he's still well handicapped off 98 as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this time next year he's running in group races, even possibly sooner than that at the end of this year. And to ensure that he gets into he should get into the Ebor off that mark anyway, but he'd want to put in a good run to solidify that anyway. So for me, I'd be giving Havana Cooler one more chance, but Mr. Andrews.
Mr. Andrews?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, Mikey.
No, can we go back to Mr. Andrews? Yeah, I must admit I agree with that. I think if Havana Cooler is good enough, this isn't the stiffest test for her. I don't think it's too difficult if she can. I think the horse that could be a bit overlooked is Big Thunder. Back after a time out when just completely down the field in the Northumberland Plate, but ran really well last year for Sir Mark Prescott, and obviously won over this distance. And I think had his comeback run could be primed for this. As you were saying for Havana Cooler, I don't think this has got a huge amount of depth to it. The other horse that I think is a bit of danger is Continuum, who's got entry in the German St. Ledger, I believe. I think that might be that one's aim. So it'd be interesting if he can back up his last win, beat Whaler by 3/4 of a length at York over this distance. No, over a bit longer actually. Oh no, sorry.
Not his strongest form though, Whaler.
No, I wouldn't say it is, but I don't think it's a very strong race. Killiney, I think, dropping in grade afterwards isn't too far. Beating too far, but I think the ground's going to be too hard.
I'm just very wary about backing any horses in them silks because they've got bigger targets at the end of the season.
Yeah,
like they don't want to really not bottom their horses, but ruin their handicap mark in a sense. You'd assume.
But the thing with Collini is that he's off 97 and he needs his marks to go up. So if it doesn't go up, then he will not be getting any big targets.
Imagine this would be.
Tac de Boitron isn't going.
He's out to the end of the season.
Dandino will go.
There's another one in those silks.
Yeah, there is.
What the hell's his name?
S. It begins with S.
Seismos.
Seismos.
Yeah, Seismos is hoping to go as well.
Yeah.
But that's a group winner, so he should get in. It is interesting. There's been a few brought out, like the horse that beat Brown Panther is already out in Australia now. Terraby.
That's Truby, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a few others like that. So yeah, there's a fair point from Adam. You know, if they really want to actually take Chiellini, but I just don't think they actually do, to be honest. I think.
Personally, don't think he's good. I personally don't think he's good enough for a Melbourne Cup. So.
I completely agree. I think it's an odd move to take him to England, and then to take him right back to Australia. So
He's got the Australian jockey on board.
Yeah, Craig. Well, I was just trying to check if he'd ridden him when he was in Australia, but and he's gone Racing Post to do that. Saptapadi, I'm surprised you haven't mentioned that one.
No.
Because you said he's like an old yardstick, he keeps going around, but
yeah,
he was second in that Lady Riders race last time.
I think I actually backed him in the Melbourne Cup once as well. I don't know why, but I think I did.
Yeah. So, but for me, yeah, Big Thunder, I think could be a bit like fit into the kind of Havana Cooler, could be better than this. And Continuum, I think, sets a solid standard, but I can't really have much else, not even dyslexic Mishawish.
Dyslexic Mishawish. That is Schwayman for anyone that's worrying. Adam, we're going to come to you next, but we have to go get something downstairs very quickly. So, Adam, if we leave you to talk,
no,
we'll back in a second. So 1 second.
Right. This is
Adam,
interesting. Yeah, okay, this is going to be very interesting. Okay, Big Thunder's price-wise, which I was trying to get across to them. Havana Cooler, I can't have. I really don't think he'll win this. The one that I quite like is Noble Silk, who won 2 starts ago at Haydock in a really good performance, beating Nearly Caught, and then was 4th in the Northumberland Plate behind Angel Gabriel. And I think he's the one to beat in this race, actually, at 12-1. And I would like to add that I am here at Luke's house. No, don't do that, because the laptop will go off. Right, Luke, just
Guys.
I hate these guys. The reason they left was to do that. Get back up there.
Oh, maturity to a new level.
Sorry, guys. It's probably the most interesting thing that's happened all video.
Well, yeah, it's not like my sister coming in my room like every 5 minutes, and some of the videos we've done of a dog appearing. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Final love hearts going down.
Only you.
So yeah, Noble Silk would be my selection in this race. I think he's a little bit overpriced.
Who was his selection?
Noble Silk.
Oh.
What did you say about Havana Cooler?
I couldn't have him. I've changed my mind. I can't have him. He has to
positive.
win. For me, he has to win to get into the U-Ball, but I'm just not convinced. So he was really slow, and I said to Luke after that race, I think he wants 2 miles already. So
what about Big Thunder? It's like if you
Big Thunder's price-wise, that's what I was saying, and he has to really come back from that run of the Northumberland Plate.
Yeah, well, it's a smart Prescott type, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe at Haydock he could have been forgiven for thinking too high in a handicap now. Came out next time at Haydock and won. And then last time it was just too bad to be true, really, wasn't it? Off only £5 higher.
Well, it was his return, and
exactly.
You couldn't say he could come up for the run, but
the Northumberland
oh
Plate,
God no. God no. But yeah, I can see why price-wise has gone for Big Thunder. If I'm honest.
Michael Wise.
Michael. But Palisator won at Ascot of the weekend to my shock.
Did he win?
He won.
Oh,
he beat Double Bluff Adams' horse.
and yours. You backed as well.
Yeah.
If anybody would like to read something on Twitter, go through to Luke's and find what he said about Palisator before the race. Sorry, Luke. Got catch out there.
He's a horrible walker. He cannot walk at all. That's the race that we're going to cover in depth. So we'll just quickly touch on a couple of later ones very, very quickly before we leave you to enjoy your nights or mornings. The second last, the 450. Not that one. Next one. Yeah, the 450.
Got it.
It's hard, really. Ogborn Downs won quite nicely the other day at Sandown. Cam Hardy takes off 5. I suppose he'd probably be a form pick. Sorry.
Chorse.
Sorry, it's getting late in this video. Adam, would you have any preference towards anything in this race?
Not particularly. It's a tricky race when you take a look at it. I mean, some of these Goodwood handicaps, though, they're not exactly like Royal Ascot handicaps where you've got the class. You have to really, it's not my type of race at all, if I'm perfectly honest. It'll be one that I'll look at tomorrow and I'll make a selection then, so I'll speak about it.
Could be an interesting horse.
No,
yeah.
I agree that I quite like Leisure, actually.
Leisure's a horse for me. Behind Golden Town, And then Your Fired didn't exactly front the form at the weekend, did he? Your Fired didn't
No.
ran too well, but I think he perhaps reached his limit, as Callum said on the video before the race. I think that's a decent form line. Leisure beaten 4 lengths by Golden Town last time out. I don't think that's a bad race at all. So I think Leisure's about 9-1. I'd be taking Leisure in that race. It's a difficult race, that is. There's a lot in. It's good to see directorship in there. I like that horse. He's getting old now, but
He's got really happy when he saw his name.
Yeah, I love it when I see the old handicappers. I'm like, oh, I actually know this horse. But yeah, there's a few like Sky Trains in there. There's a few horses like that are difficult to really pin down in their later years. I do think Miss Atomic Bomb's got a race in her, but she's obviously a non-runner now. Down the bottom, it's the same colours as Rebecca Romero.
No, not.
Yeah, it is. Prestige Thoroughbred Racing.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it doesn't say it on there, but it is. So yeah, perhaps. Yeah, but I think Leisure is the one for me.
Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with you on Leisure. But I'd be taking Leisure on with Ogborn Downs, who won nicely last time. Jack of Diamonds was really gutsy in the finish. Ogborn Downs was carrying top weight. Gets a £6 penalty for that. Cam Hardy negates £5. So, in theory, only £1 higher for winning last time out. Them two put quite a bit of distance between themselves and the third horse, which was Gracious George. Ogborn Downs just looked like he could be a little bit of an improver, actually. Didn't really run too well at Windsor the time before that, but 3 runs ago won Bath. So it could be a bit of an improving sort. So Ogborn Downs will be the one that I take. And the last race that I have a bit of a love affair with after last year, Michael.
Oh no, this was the worst day ever because Luke didn't look at the race card. He just decided to pick a horse. And
I was getting really annoyed because I had one winner all day, which was Brazos.
Yeah, but I hadn't had a winner.
So I decided that I wasn't going to look at the race card. I was going to go to the parade ring and pick 2 horses to back. And I ended up having a £5 on Wasim Faris that came 4th, and that's the one I was cheering on. And I had a £3 win on Tidal's Baby at 28.
And I had to break the news.
And I didn't see Tidal's Baby on the far side finishing, and it turned out he won. I turned to Michael and said, "Oh yes, I got place money. I'm happy with that." And then he goes, "You idiot! Tidal's Baby won." So yeah. I enjoy reminding Michael of that whenever I can.
That was a horrible day.
And that is one of them. And this is one of them moments. Both of them are back this year. Whether I'd be getting too involved, I'm not sure. But
also the third team as well, Cruise to the Limit.
Cruise to the Limit, yeah.
So you've got 1, 3, 4.
Right, yeah, fair enough. But Barnet Fair is a horse that we saw on Sunday, Adam. Travelled really well into the race. Was maybe a bit unlucky, in all honesty. Cam Hardy takes the ride once more. But Barnet Fair looked in such good form with himself. I would have no problem backing him again, even after a 2-day layoff.
Yeah. It's sprinters. I mean, look at Racy. He ran on Saturday, came 27th, beaten 20+ lengths. And he then comes out on Sunday and wins. I don't think anybody could believe that he'd won. I mean, as I tweeted, that Barnet Fair by far was the best looker in the paddock. He just looked so well and primed. And I think they will have stayed down south. So I think Barnet Fair's got a huge chance. I actually quite like Tidal's Baby as well, actually, because Stoner Folker's going to leave the low numbers, and I think he could potentially get horses like Tidal's Baby into the race. So yeah, they'd be the 2 that I'd like.
Yeah. I probably will have to have. Wait, go down.
I'm sorry.
Tidal's Baby's a Dutch art.
Oh god.
Super. I'm more than happy sticking with the Barnet Fair in this. Just the shape that he looked on Sunday at Ascot was absolutely magnificent.
I must admit, I was the opposite to you because I didn't back him on Sunday, and I was just like, please don't win, because I backed him like the last 3 times before because I thought he was definitely coming to the boil, and I'm surprised he didn't win on Sunday. I think you're right, was unlucky. And I think turning him out quickly, they're saying, we want the win now.
Yeah, exactly.
We've been getting him ready for a while. We should have won.
It could have been that Sunday was meant to be the day, because that was the race that he won 12 months ago, but things didn't exactly go right. He finished the staying on second again, but I do think he was better than the overall performance that he put in that day. He was a bit unlucky. They were coming over to the near side row, and he almost got a bit squashed, but once he got a clear run, then he did start to stay on again, and Racy was, I'd say, a freak result, but I'm sure Brian Ellison knew all about that. But that brings us to the end of our preview. Is there anything at Galway that you particularly fancy tomorrow, Adam?
Well, there's an interesting chase, which I think will feature in the Naughty Lucky 15, or potentially a Naughty Forecast, which is domination in the Latin Quarter chase. And I mentioned this to Michael earlier, but you could have loosened my load for a naughty forecast.
Definitely.
Also, just before that, I'm finding it interesting that they're actually going to run domination here as opposed to the Galway Plate, which he could have been well fancied, which he was well fancied for. So, yeah. Tomorrow we will be talking about the Galway Plate. So.
Yes, and we will be back tomorrow, of course. Have you got a Naughty Lucky 15 for us tonight?
I have. Just mentioning, bar Tidal's Baby in that last handicap, the only horse that's actually won on the course is Slip Sliding Away. And I think that could be another one that's interesting with Alan Kirby aboard. On the Naughty Lucky 15, we've got horse named after Luke. Becca will know this, called Fast Act. Then we've got Boom and Bust in the next one. Towards the end of the card, in the 415, we have Bouncing Check, or as I'd like, that was Luke's Bouncing Check, but I also thought there was one that described Adam's dating profile.
No. Oh.
Oh.
And then the last one, which is how Adam gets his internet, Jill Next Door.
Ironically, my neighbour is called Jill, so... But now to the serious things.
Internet tonight.
You just don't use your own. Adam, your nap for tomorrow.
Ooh.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Very important.
You're down. You're down.
I'm actually
Like one of us.
Bath.
No.
sea shanty in the first.
Sea shanty in the first. I'm gonna assume you don't have a nap for us yet. So I am gonna say my nap. I kind of revealed it earlier on. Actually, I can't single out one horse really. I 100% fancy tomorrow. So I fancy two. I'm going to go with a reverse forecast, much like Callum Liddell has made his own over the years on our videos, with Gregorian and Tormore. I'm not sure in what order. If I was pushed Tormore, I just have ahead of Gregorian, I think, just with the vibes that are coming out of the Hannon camp. I managed to speak to one of the owners last night, and she said that it's the first time that he's really come into his coat. He's really working well at home. So with reports like that, I'd be inclined to just give Tormore the edge, but I can honestly see it going either way. So a reverse forecast with Tormore and Gregorian would be for me. Michael?
Yeah, I have to agree. There's nothing that I really want. It's really, really competitive handicaps, and then the group races are just as misleading. So I'm going to go with Big Thunder each way for Luke Morris and Sir Mark Prescott.
That price has been destroyed as we speak.
Yeah, that's gonna screw that up. Yeah, I think the other one that I would consider is Barnet Fair.
Yeah, no, Barnet Fair would actually be a very good bet in the last race of the day. I think Cam Hardy can have a very good day actually.
Yeah, I think there's a good possibility.
Yeah,
he could.
Maybe a Cam Hardy patent or Trixie or whatever. But we'll be back tomorrow evening here on the Other Hoof. Callum Liddell, I don't think he's here all week actually.
Oh, has he sent us a map actually? Can I go check? I'll just check.
But we will be probably trying to get a special guest in at some point during the week. Who that will be, I don't know. It will be.
Should we make up a nap for Callum? Because he's going to be rolling on.
Vanakula, no.
Ooh. Let's go Tormore.
There's no.
Oh no, I'm from Goodwood.
Go on. Should I put up each way for him?
I'm from Goodwood. That one. Yeah, that's
I'll put up each way. Just to be generous.
It's Adam's nap as well, so it's got a great chance. But that's all we've got time for tonight on the Other Hoof. I hope you have enjoyed our broadcast tonight and our torment of Adam, which we'll probably yeah.
Can I say something before the video? These guys said to me, if we leave the room and we appear, don't do anything. I knew what was going to happen, that we were going to appear. Thanks for that. I didn't expect what you were going to do. But
people since the Ebor Festival last year.
We just got one question once again. Dale Alco, thank you very much for your kind words. On the Other Hoof, covered more races in 45 minutes than the Morning Line does in a year and provides 20 times the amount of winners. No thanks to Adam. I added the last bit on there, I have to say.
On Harbour Watch tweeted as well, he said that White Nile's got a chance in the 340 as well. So
it's weird that he tweeted me that. I forgot to read it out and Adam saw it.
Yeah.
You've got another one from
Gonna be eagle-eyed.
Private Sean says a special guest. You say privates don't have that kind of respect in our rankings anymore. So
yeah, it's not
until you come back to some kind of respectable ranking.
Yeah.
we'll have
He's
to.
probably trying to run away from some girl.
Or you. On that bombshell, we shall leave you tonight from On the Other Hoop. We hope you can join us again tomorrow night, and we hope you have a few winners today. Good luck on day one of Glorious Goodwood, and from all of us here at On the Other Hoop, goodbye.